SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.
Big Boys Pawn Guns and Gold on Highway 72 in Corinth has it all. Friendly faces with a huge selection of guns, jewelry, and Liberty safes that can't be matched, all at unbeatable prices. Visit bigboyspawngunsandgold.com.
I'm Steve Azar, and I'm on the other side of the microphone, meaning I'm asking the questions this time, and oh, have mercy for the airwaves. I spent 20 years in Music City, wrote and made some hits, traveled the world, and then moved my family back to the birthplace of American music and where the magnolia trees prosper. And now every time I put my feet on Mississippi soil, when I'm off the road, well, I'm at peace. On this show, it's all about hearing the stories straight from the mouths of the friends I've made along the way, their journey to success. Heck, there might be someone on, I don't even know, but you know how us Mississippi types are. We tend to take well to new company. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them. I'm Steve Azar. It's just like that muddy river, moving slow. Ain't no worries, it's how life goes, baby. In a Mississippi Minute. That's right.
Folks, time for another In a Mississippi Minute. Hey, I'm Steve Azar. Thank you for tuning in. Joining me always means the world. Visit Mississippi.org. We're the birthplace of America's music. Everything. We're the creator of it all. That's where all the influence came from, right from someone you know in your home state. And next thing you know, there's the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, Eric Clapton, of course, Elvis, B.B. King. I can go forever. Jimmy Rogers. Okay, I'll stop. But just go to visit Mississippi.org. Be proud of your Mississippi. Excited about today's guest. Joining me on the show is an actor, producer, director, originally globally known for his iconic role as Hercules in Hercules. The man, the legendary journeys, one of the most watched TV shows of the entire 1990s, if not the most watched TV show. I think it was at one point in every country in the world, but I could be a little wrong. I'll ask in a minute. Born and raised in Mound, Minnesota, he went on to pursue a degree in marketing and advertising from Minnesota State University at Moorhead before launching his career first in modeling and then television commercials, which led him to the success he's had today. After years of steady work in ads and guest roles, his big break came in 1993 when he was cast as Hercules, catapulting him to international fame. Following Hercules, he starred in sci-fi series, many of those, acting and producing, and so many films. It was crazy. Cole the Conqueror, I remember that, and more than several faith-based projects such as God's Not Dead and Let There Be Light, which was sort of a game changer in that industry, to say the least. His shift toward Christian cinema reflected both his personal faith and his desire to tell values-driven stories. His incredible journey hasn't been without challenges, though. In the late 1990s, he suffered an aneurysm and several strokes that significantly impacted his health and experience. And later, he chronicled in his autobiography, True Strength. Beyond acting, he's so active in philanthropy. I was just recently with him raising money for contractors against cancer in D.C., serving as a spokesman for A World Fit for Kids, a nonprofit mentoring organization. His career spans 4 decades now. I know he didn't want to hear it, but it has. From mythic hero to modern storyteller, and he remains a recognizable figure in both entertainment and faith-based media. By the way, he does it on his own terms, which is amazing, and I know how happy he is with him and his family, now located in parts known Florida. Please welcome in the incredible actor, my pal, director, writer, Kevin Sorbo.
You need more to talk about, man. That was a pretty good intro. Hey, I got to throw in one thing here. The second series I did was called Andromeda. And the reason I got to bring that up is I'm a big fan of the original Star Trek series. And when Majel Roddenberry came to me my 7th year down in New Zealand filming Hercules, we were in talks to do seasons 8, 9, and 10 at that time at Universal Studios. And Majel called me up and said, my husband wrote this show in 1969, Andromeda. And first captain he ever created after Captain Kirk was Captain Dylan Hunt. Well, I jumped on that show right away. We had a 5-year run, 110 episodes.
Yeah.
I got to play the first captain after Captain Kirk. So that was pretty cool and had a blast doing that. And Hercules was the most watched show in the world by season 3 for 5 years. We were the number one show in the world in 176 countries.
176 countries.
Crazy,
I mean,
huh?
I want to get to that in a second, but the only reason I didn't mention Andromeda, is that how I said it right?
Yeah.
Is because I was going to say it wrong. I'm looking at it right now, and I knew you'd bring it up. I'm glad you did. Okay, so let's back up a little bit. First of all, you're a prolific athlete in high school, off into college. Tell me about the athletic days growing up in Minnesota. How big was Mound, Minnesota, your class and all that? And then how did sports evolve and start to really help you in your modeling and acting career? Because I know how you are as an athlete still. You're determined, a lot of hole-in-ones, really great golfer. But I think sports had a lot to do with your success.
Oh, no question. I grew up in a little town. It's called Mound, Minnesota. We're on the western shore of Lake Minnetonka. And the reason I'm letting everybody know Lake Minnetonka, Prince made it famous in Purple Rain, of course, but Lake Minnetonka is where my hometown made Tonka toys. So there's a good trivia question for people.
Wow. How about that?
And we were only a town of still only about a town of about 7,000 people. And it's just the way it's situated with other towns close by. We're about 25 miles west of Minneapolis. But as a kid growing up, that was a world away, So I very athletic town. I'm the fourth of 5 kids. There's 4 boys in my family. I grew up in a dead end street, 7 homes, and we had like 28 kids in that neighborhood. There's so many kids, and we all just played sports all the time. Sports. Basketball and football. We had great coaches, great community for it. I played football through high school and basketball, and we just had really good athletes, and we had really good teams. And we would go up, graduating class about 280 maybe, and we'd play.
Pretty good.
We'd go in and play the inner city leagues in Minneapolis North and stuff like that, and we'd beat these guys.
Yeah.
Because back then, all the brothers, back in the late 70s, they just wanted to dunk. These white boys out there, we're shooting 3-pointers. We're just shooting all the time. Because my hero growing up was Pistol Pete Maravich. That's the guy that I followed as a kid. Right there near you are. He went to LSU down there.
Insane.
And the guy was, if you remember, no 3-point shot back in his day, and he averaged 44 points a game in college.
Yeah, could you imagine what that'd have been?
He'd have been over 60.
Yeah, ridiculous. So
I would copy
you
him.
didn't have a 3-point
socks, and I would practice shooting 3-point shots off balance just to be like he was.
Yeah. He was never in balance. It didn't matter. Somehow he found balance in midair, sort of like Steph Curry does. Steph's can find his balance and square up somehow even when he's doing flips. But so you were a shooting guard. Were you 6'3", 6'4" at the time? You big kid?
I was a guard / forward. It depended.
Okay.
We had 2 shorter guards that were just fast, and one Tim Kaler. Tim was a stud. This guy, he could drill. He was just like amazing. He was like Stockton, John Stockton.
Yeah.
Back in the day, the mailman. His passing, his dribbling, you couldn't stop that kind of full court press. He was amazing.
Okay, so was it definitely basketball? Did you do track? Did you play football? Did y'all have a football team?
I was I believe I was golfer.
So golf and hoops.
Yeah, football, basketball, and golf in high school. I should have stuck with baseball. I was actually a better baseball player, but my 2 older brothers went golf. And, you look up to your older brothers that are 5, 6 years older than you.
Yeah.
And I said, okay, I'm going to do what they did. If I had to do it over again, because I was a good pitcher, I played baseball through 9th grade and stopped after that. And I was a good hitter. But, that's something we did all the time in our neighborhood. Right. Everybody had a great backyard some backyards are bigger than others. So as we got older, we had to keep moving. And then we had a park just down the road from us. I put in a great baseball field. So we go down there.
Sports key. You think about you turn into Hercules. So there's a discipline that you learned growing up that you had to have, because at some point your body has to transform into the character that became the number 1 watched show in the world. And when we get back from the break, I want to dig into this workout regime that you must have had to do, and how many hours it took. What was your diet like? I've been asked a lot of questions about you in the past. You know him? I said, yeah, absolutely. What could he have been doing to stay in that good a shape? And now you're talking about how it's affected your body today, right?
Sure.
30 seconds real quick before we take a break.
30 seconds on what? About what?
about just prepare us for what I'm about to hear. Is it going to hurt? It's going to hurt.
That's not going to hurt. It's not going to hurt. I mean, I think the biggest mistake I made, and we much in the 70s and 80s, even in the 90s, people didn't talk about as much. When I finished an hour and a half workout in the gym, lifting weights at Gold's Gym, when I lived in LA, I'd go down, I was just blocks away from the ocean, and I'd go run 3 miles on concrete.
That was nuts. You had sand right there, by the way.
I know.
Let you know. And water. Anything softer than the hard
It was
pavement.
stupid. It was dumb.
That's all right. We'll talk about all the mistakes we made after the break. Kevin Sorbo, incredible career. He's changed the hearts of a lot of people by the path that he chose after Hercules and beyond. So many faith-based movies, to me, that he has been the pioneer of, to make it modern and hip and something that just took it to another level. Speaking of another level, he may have grown up in Minnesota and be a Golden Gopher and lives in Florida, but we are the birthplace of American music. Even Kevin Sorbo knows that. We'll be right back. Go to visit Mississippi.org. I'm Steve Azar.
Yeah, baby, I'm gonna be good.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
If you're feeling anxious,
Steve Azar back here at a Mississippi Minute. My pal, actor, award-winning. The awards that we can't even begin to. His wall would look like he needs a house full of trophies or whatever it is these days they get. All I know is Kevin Sorbo's a special man, has a special heart, a giver in life. But man, what a career playing in Hercules and beyond. God's Not Dead. The list goes on and on. He does it on his own terms now. Departure from the typical Los Angeles way of doing things. And he's been a game changer for so many. I can tell you that. Speaking of game changers, visit Mississippi.org. They're going to be hanging out at the Rose Bowl this year. And we're going to have a float celebrating the birthplace of America's music, which we are. And also B.B. King's 100th birthday this year, the King of the Blues. Amazing, amazing. Just 25 miles from where I'm sitting looking at Kevin right now, we're in my studio. Kevin is going to be actually in Jackson, Mississippi next week doing a premiere for a movie where he plays a 700-year-old vampire, even though his body feels like it's 700 years old after playing Hercules and putting it through it. Kevin, tell me about that.
Well, I shot it out there just outside of Jackson back about a year and a half ago now. There's actually going to be a film festival going on. It's a film festival, and I think my movie screens this Saturday at like 5 or 6 or 7 o'clock local time. And he's the director's from France, but he married a local gal out of your home state. They met in L.A. They got tired of the woke crap of L.A. and they moved to her home state, and they've been back there now for a while. So
wow,
it was a blast doing this. It's a comedy more than it is like a scary movie. It's a very sort of creepy comedy thriller, and I think people will love it.
Okay, so you deciding on movies that you don't write. I know you're heavily involved in the writing of a lot of movies. What makes you go, I've got to do that. I've got to do that. I got to play that role.
It's 20 pages. I read 20 pages of every script sent to me. If that doesn't hold my interest, I say I'm done. I'm not interested. And through our production company, please go to sorbostudios.com, sorbostudios.com, great place to go, and see what's coming up. Because I do have 4 new movies coming out.
Of course you do.
They're done, and I got 3 documentaries that are all coming out as well. But to me, it's like if I have enough already, and everybody comes to me in Sorbo Studios, I got a great idea, or I got a great book, or I got a script, and I just email them back and go, well, if you got it funded, we'll talk. Because right now my focus is on the scripts that I've already decided I want to do.
Yeah, you're dealing with movies that have to be funded. So and what's the odds of what's the batting average when somebody has an idea and they have a great idea, but what's the batting average for getting funded and actually happening?
Without exaggerating, the hours I put in trying to raise money for a movie, and when it finally does get raised, and the time we shoot it, in pre-production and shooting and then post-production, I probably come out to about 75 cents an hour. And I'm not kidding. I love what I do, but boy, I spend a lot of time that I'm not getting paid for right now to try to raise money for movies. And every time I've done it, for the most part, it's been a God thing. It's been like bumping into somebody and said, "Hey, I love your work. What can I do?" And I'm going, "Well, I need $3 million of this movie." It happens. But it's probably one out of every 500 people, investors I meet. It's very rare.
Sure.
A lot of work behind it. It's like going to Hollywood. Good luck. You want to be an actor? Okay, good luck. Get in line.
Are you an executive producer when you do pretty much everything, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's back up for a second before the break. You had to have a knee replacement. You put your body through torment growing up. You talked about running on concrete and all that. But tell me about that workout routine, what it took. What was your diet like to look like you did? You still look incredible. But, come on, that was
an old guy.
No, we're getting older. We're not old yet, but we're getting older. We're getting wiser. You're a lot smarter than when I first met you. I just want you to know that. All right. But no, seriously, Kevin, what the heck did you do to look like that?
Well, my brothers told me to start lifting weights in high school, and I wouldn't listen to them because my concern was I'll ruin my basketball shot. And how stupid was I there, too? Because look at the size of these dudes in the NBA today in college.
Yeah.
If as long as you're working out, if I'm lifting weights, well, be shooting at the same time. I can go lift weights and go shoot hoops afterwards or before, whatever, as long as you keep both things going. So I didn't really start hitting the weights until my senior year in high school. So I was maybe 185 pounds my senior year in high school. I played defensive and offensive end and football. And when I got to college, that's when I kind of beefed it up. And I got to about 220, 225 by my sophomore year. So by the time I was 20 years old, I was that. And I pretty much kept that on. I didn't put on much more weight. Hercules, I stayed around 225 for that series. They didn't want a Hercules that looked like Lou Ferrigno or Arnold Schwarzenegger.
I know. What I'm saying is at that point, you look like the perfect specimen.
Well, I miss that body, I got to say. But I got to say, I when they called me for it, my agent initially called me for it, I thought they're going to want some bodybuilder, 300-pound dude. No, they said they want a guy that could be an NFL quarterback-sized guy or a decathlete athlete. That's what they wanted.
Right.
So when I got Hercules, they had to get me a trainer because I was working long days. I was working 12 to 14 hours every day. So at the end of the day, to go work out, you're not in the mood. So I had a guy down there that was awesome. Steve Rosenbaum, American guy. I lived in New Zealand 7 years, by the way, if I didn't mention. That's where he shot the series.
That's where you guys shot the series.
Yep.
Right.
Steve is an American guy from California. He married a girl down there. He opened his own little studio. At the most, there was maybe 3 people in there working out with a trainer. So it helped me having him to help me working out to get motivated after a long day in the set. And I would only have carbs in the morning. And then the rest of the day, I would have 4 meals spread out. And it was all protein. And that's pretty much what I stuck with. So my body fat in that series back then was probably maybe around 11 or 12%. So I was in pretty good shape. And, there's the old days right there when I was ripped up.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Look at that hair.
I know. I miss that guy. That was in my 30s, 7 years in my 30s. I was still
and you look. It is funny how you look. You're in your 30s, but you look like you're in your 20s. Amazing what that can do. But 30s, I'll take 30s again. You know what? I don't want to be 30s again. I like where we are. Could you imagine having to go back and even if I could fix some things, Kevin, I don't think I'd go back and do it. I'm grateful and happy at where we are right now. I couldn't imagine going through the whole thing again. Although, having, hoops and stuff, that'd be kind of fun if you had,
I know.
had an idea.
Even when I got to LA, the 6 years before I got Hercules, I played in 3 city leagues. I played in the one in Northridge, one in Pasadena, and Beverly Hills. The Beverly Hills League was probably the toughest because it was all these dudes from the Pac-10 that didn't make it in the NBA.
They were all
so
playing.
UCLA, USC, Arizona State, all these guys living there. I just stayed outside. I'm not going to get under the boards of those 7-foot dudes. I just shot 3 pointers.
Yeah.
But it was a blast.
Is this after Hercules?
No, before Hercules.
Before Hercules.
No. Yeah,
So
I didn't have time to play hoops after.
When do you move to LA?
When did I move? I moved there in 1986.
So 5 years, so 6, 7 years later, you're on top of the world.
It was almost 1987. So I got Hercules at the beginning of 1993. I shot from 93 to the very end of 99. In fact, this beautiful sword right here is given by my props department. It was after 7 years, the very last day in the set. This thing is silver and gold, and our props department made it for me. It's got my name on it. Hercules, the 7 years of Hercules are on there, and it says, the journey may be over, but the legend lives on. So it was very emotional last day for me.
Wow, man, unbelievable. Let's take a quick break. Kevin Sorbo, I'm looking at the sword right now as we speak. Speaking of the sword, if you want the sword of, give me some sort of analogy. I can't do it. I got nothing. Visit Mississippi.org. I got something. Visit Mississippi.org. Check it out. Plan a road trip to your Mississippi. I got to get Kevin, once he has his knee surgery repaired, on Dancing Rabbit Golf Club at Pearl River Resort. He'll freak out. He'll love it, the Augusta that you can play. And I miss that place. I need to go visit in the next few weeks, and I will. Visit Mississippi.org. Check it out. I'm Steve Azar. We'll be right back. Fabulous Kevin Sorbo.
It's just a waste of time.
$20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served. Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
Listen and watch all your favorite SuperTalk Mississippi shows live and on demand. Listen to tons of music. Plus, get the latest breaking news from across the state with the SuperTalk Mississippi app. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Download the SuperTalk app on your iPhone or Android device now for free. Just search SuperTalk Mississippi in your app store on your mobile device to get everything Mississippi all in one place. The SuperTalk Mississippi app. Get it now.
From
In a Mississippi Minute with Steve Azar, right here on SuperTalk Mississippi.
Flying down that levee road, trying to see how fast you go.
Rocking in a Mississippi Minute, Kevin Sorbo is my guest today. At one point, Hercules, which he played Hercules, was the #1 show in all of the world. A little small place called the world, the earth. I don't know. All I know, it was insane, and what a career that launched. Visit Mississippi.org has launched a lot of careers in the music business because we inspired them all. Please go to visit Mississippi.org. Check it out. I'll be proud of your Mississippi. I love having my man. He's going to be on Mississippi Soul next week celebrating a movie that he just recently shot. And it's good to have him there. I can't believe that he didn't call me when he was in Mississippi shooting a movie. We're going to have a long discussion about that. I will take him on once he has knee surgery. That's what I'm going to go after him. All right, Kevin, you start modeling. Do you go to LA to model? Are you doing that in Minnesota? When does all that happen?
Backtrack just real quick.
Yeah.
My wife shot a commercial with B.B. King before we met.
What?
And BB King, we have a place up in Park City, Utah that we rent out most of the time, but we go up there in the summers. It's awesome for biking and hiking and everything. He performed on the ski slope, and I got to go backstage afterwards to meet him. I'm probably going back about 12 to 15 years when this happened, but I got to meet him.
That was late in his life.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, that man played music every day. It was unbelievable.
Oh my God.
Him and Willie Nelson, and nobody has ever. Yeah. Usually, people they make a record and they go on tour. Oh, they're announcing a tour. And that's the way. But Willie and BB just play. They just play. Man, and what 100 years now. So, what commercial was that?
I honestly can't remember. I have to ask for it. But she's got the picture of her with him on the set and stuff, which is pretty cool.
All right.
Anyway,
go ahead. But also, let's skip to whatever I asked before. This has been on my mind. You and your family and your bride, y'all were all very active together. They were homeschooled, correct?
We're homeschoolers. My wife's a homeschool advocate. She travels the country. Once again, if you go to sorbostudios.com, all that information is on there about what she does and what I do and what we do together.
Obviously, the kids raised in the movie business.
Yep.
They're acting. How serious are they compared to when you were there? You've paved the roads for them. You were on gravel and potholes and all that, and you turned it into a big, wide open interstate. And they've come in and they've seen the interstate. How has that prepared them, you think?
Oh, growing up on movie sets, television sets, everything, they're not intimidated by it. I knew by the time they got older, they'd want to do it. And my boys were 11 and 13 at the time. They came in and said, Dad, we want to act. I wasn't surprised. I put them in classes for 3 years. And the first movie we put them in, it was a movie that my wife wrote that I directed that Sean Hannity funded. It's called Let There Be Light. I highly recommend it. It's a great movie. It's in the theaters for 4 months. It was highly successful. It's a faith-based movie. It's touching. It's funny. It's if you got a soul inside of you, you'll cry and laugh as well. But it's a great movie. And my sons now are 24 and the other one's 21, about to be 22. They've each shot, my oldest has shot 10 movies already. The other one shot 5. But my oldest one, Shane, works very much with Turning Point USA. Charlie Kirk was a dear friend.
Wow, I didn't know that.
We knew Charlie for 10 years. He goes speaks at colleges as well. He was about to go speak down at the University of Miami, and then the assassination happened, and they put everything on hold just in case there's more nut jobs out there. But there'll always be nut jobs out there because God forbid you speak the truth in America anymore. So they're both busy doing their own thing. He runs social media sites for some very big names, and he does very well.
So, speaking of, you're very vocal, and you've got a ton of followers, and you're out there on social media, and so I walk a line mentally here because it's interesting. You're not afraid to say what's on your mind.
Well, even Michael Jordan said, Republicans buy tennis shoes too. So it's like
I feel like, man, if I ever alienated one side, I'd have nobody. So, but with you have really drawn a line in the sand, and you stand on one side of it.
Sure.
You're devout in that. So, what sort of made you go, I've got to take a stance and tell people what I feel is right in my heart?
I think I've always been this way. I mean, it was just weird with after the social media and the way it took off. It was about 10 years ago that all of a sudden my manager and agent said, we can't work with you anymore. The studios don't want to work with you. I said, well, why? He goes, well, because you're conservative and a Christian. I'm going, I've always been a conservative. I've always been a Christian. What's the big deal? Well, I said, well, the winds are changing, and we've seen the winds change. I mean, the country has just gone ballistic. It's been divided. So I don't harbor anger to someone who's got a different point of view than I got. To me, it's like, that's freedom of speech. Let's have a debate. Let's not kill each other over it. I mean, it's weird what's going on right now. And it's incredibly childish, the way I look at the anger and hate on the internet. These people need, there's a mental illness, I think, out there. And it's like, get a job. I wonder if any of these people have jobs anymore. But I never really changed my stance. Facebook took me down. I had 4 million followers because I was posting the truth about COVID. All my information was coming from 2 very highly respected doctors. I'll never give names because
you weren't the only one taking off COVID. I have doctor friends who were oncologists that were taken off.
Taken off.
And they were right, by the way.
The truth. Of course we were right. All these conspiracy theories just needed 6 months to a year to be proven true.
Yeah.
So it's just so weird.
That 2 years felt like about 42 years. It was just stupid what we did to the world and what some people are still doing. Jump off that cliff for a second and into this and put your Hercules outfit on because you're going to have to jump far.
Sure.
During the period of off time, what did you do with that time? As far as preparing yourself for movies or whatever, and you couldn't, or were you able to go to certain places and shoot movies? Did you slow down during COVID?
Surprisingly, I stayed busy. I kept on working, which was amazing. Independent movies were still shooting, and so I stayed busy with it. I've never missed a year. The one year that I thought the worst year was 2020 or 2021, the worst year of all of it. I got a call from Fox, and they said, "Look, we like this pilot for the sitcom you did." So for the first time in my life, when I thought I wasn't going to work in a year, I did 8 episodes of the sitcom that never got picked up anyway. It's funny. I think they've aired it enough, and we had a good time doing it. But, it was sort of like a last man standing type of show, but it was fun. But I kept working, which is good.
How do you and your wife and your bride meet? How do you guys meet?
Met on the set of Hercules. She came down there, and she hates this, but this is the truth once again. Every episode, they brought down a babe to work on my show. I mean, it was like a great dating service.
You're going to get in trouble. She better not be in the background. She's going to start slapping you.
Well, no, but listen, when I met her at the end of season 4, it was over for me. I knew right then and there. I'm a big flirt. I was flirting with her big time. She's laughing at me. She goes, "I don't date actors. I don't date guys with long hair." And I wore her down. A week later, we got a date. I took her to one of my favorite restaurants down there in Auckland, New Zealand, and we never looked back. Within 2 months, we were engaged. So
2 months. How long have y'all been married?
I knew. We married 27 years.
Wow.
3 kids, 27 years.
You call her a babe right now. She'll probably like it, but
she's a brainiac. She did all the homeschooling. I did the physical education part for the kid family.
What made you? I know you did. What made you guys go? Well, on the tour bus, I was gone. Once you could take the kids when they were 1, 2, 3, 4, but when they had to start school, I had no hope. So the 3 kids all staggered a little bit, 2 years apart, 3 years apart. I was stuck. Being on the road 175, 200, well, more than that, probably 225 days a year if you consider the bus time. And they just couldn't go. Gwen homeschooled 1 year Strack, our oldest, who's a filmmaker now in LA in your old town. But she only did it 1 year. And I remember walking in and just hearing them go at it. And I go, this has got to stop. I mean, it was a lot to do. So at the other side of the break, because we got to go to a break, let's talk about that journey with homeschool and how you feel like it's been beneficial. The quarterback of Ole Miss right now, who lost his starting job because he got hurt, he was homeschooled. He graduated at 16 years old, and at 19 already has his college degree and just starting to play football at Ole Miss. So there's something to say about that. Obviously, people like Tim Tebow. There's a large list of success stories. We'll be right back with the great Kevin Sorbo. What a good dude. He's in trouble because he didn't tell me he was shooting a movie in Mississippi. I am going to wait until he has knee surgery before I go all in and try to jump off the top ropes because he's a tough guy. Speaking of tough, go to visit Mississippi.org. It's not only tough, it's tender. It's like one of my songs, Tender and Tough. Check that out. We'll be right back. I'm Steve Azar.
Oh, the blues and the truth. In the night I fell for you. You're everything that I've become. All the signs and the times and the memories in my mind. All roads lead back to Highway 61. Yeah, all roads lead back to Highway 61. Highway 61. Highway 61. Take me home now. I'm still trying to find my way.
Up to $20,000 available for first-time home buyers. Hey folks, Steve Azar here. Helping is the heart of our friends at Guarantee Bank. They offer programs like the Home Buyer Equity Leverage Partnership Grant that can assist qualified first-time home buyers with up to $20,000 towards down payment and provide home ownership counseling to empower you on your journey. These funds are first come, first served, Learn more about this program and to apply now, go to gbtonline.com. Guarantee Bank, member FDIC.
We got a short segment left, but not a short man. I'm with Kevin Sorbo, Hercules, #1 movie in the world at one point for a number of years, and he spent 7 years pounding the pavement, working out, and changed the world of TV, that's for sure. Back in that day, you had not just a handful of TV stations, and when you got on there and you became in syndication, it was over. Kevin wouldn't have to do anything for the rest of his life, but he chose to make great faith-based movies. He's moved on. He's done incredible movies beyond that. He's had a huge career. And I've really enjoyed sharing him with you guys. I've spent time with him on the golf course and in life and charity events, and I've been blessed to have gotten to know him and his family. Visit Mississippi.org. Check out the Rose Bowl Parade this year. You're going to be proud of your Mississippi. A very cool float celebrating the birthplace of America's music. All right, Kevin, we're talking about homeschooling.
Right.
Tell me, sort of looking hindsight now and watching your kids go through that, what's been the benefit, especially in their career, and were they able to play sports like you were able to do since you went to a regular school situation?
Yeah, when we lived in Westlake Village, California, they were 45, 50 miles north of LA. I was a member at North Ranch Country Club, or University of Pepperdine plays out of, great golf course. But there were football and basketball available for them. So they were in leagues doing that and stuff like that. They didn't have the love for the games the way I did, even though I was out there in the backyard playing with them all the time like that. But they got more into like tennis and working out the gym and things like that. But they did play football and basketball. But I'm telling you, homeschooling, I mean, if you had homeschooled your kids, they could have traveled with you the whole time when you were on the road all those times.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
It's a big commitment. Sure it is. But to me, you mentioned Tim Tebow and the Mississippi quarterback. You're going, guys, you got to understand, they learn. So our public school system sucks. There's always exceptions to the rule, but overall, and I know Mississippi's come a long way. At one time,
how about us, number 12 right now?
I know. Now you're ranked in the top 10. It's amazing.
That's been a dozen years in the works.
Yeah, and that's amazing. But there's a purposeful dumbing down our kids, and some states are finally waking up. Even Oklahoma now has put prayer back in the schools for kids who want to pray. I mean, why we take that out to begin? Who cares if somebody wants to pray in school?
No, I mean, don't get me started there. I'm going to be on your bed. It's ridiculous. I mean, come on.
It's just amazing the control that these governments have it. And these kids, my kids, they'll talk to anybody. They're very educated. They're smarter than most kids graduating college right now. My daughter is almost turning 20 here. And I'll tell you what, she can hold her own against anybody. These college kids think they're smart. They're not smart. There's just an indoctrination camp going in so many universities. It's crazy.
You know, Mississippi's I know you spent some time here, but you can go into every nook and cranny of Mississippi. This is a faith-based state.
Yeah.
Heavy belief. It's been part of my success, because I've witnessed the feeling and watched the magic happen when there's no way they can work out. The heavy load you have on you, the thing trying to bear it all, even when you were Hercules, as much as you could carry. And when I was in the best shape of my life physically, it meant nothing when we thought we could carry a burden that was just too heavy. You have to turn to God. I mean, it's just what it is. It's a no-brainer, but we can't convince everybody of that. That's where I definitely draw a line in the sand in my heart. And I pray that people that don't have it, that are so lost that they have to have it. The great story of Bernard Langer, when he wins Augusta and he felt nothing. It's very well documented.
And by the way, Bernard's a friend of mine. He lives just down the road from me here in Florida, and I've done his golf tournament a couple of times. And every time I have a movie come out, he'll text me and say, "Thank you for putting that out there, brother." So it's pretty cool.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
And look how he's the happiest guy in the world. Look how long he's lasted. Come on, it's ridiculous.
He's 68 or 69 years old, and he's going to be playing once again in the Schwab Cup.
That's crazy.
Yeah. By the way, there's me with my buddy right there, Mr. Arnold Palmer.
Wow.
I got to be good friends with him. I got introduced. We played this in 2000. We played in the 3M Championship up there, the Champions event up there in
Minneapolis. Yeah.
And so let me ask you this. We hit it off so well, and then he invited me, and we golfed every year up until his death. We golfed twice a year at Tradition, his course in La Quinta, and of course Bay Hill. And I got to throw out there, I have. I'm going to be producing the Payne Stewart movie, and I'm going to star in as his father. We got Justin Timberlake to play Payne Stewart, and we're
Get out of here.
We'll start filming next spring.
Memphis boy playing. I love it. He's perfect for that.
Well, you know what?
He's a good stick.
The knickers. He does the Bobby, the Bobby Jones stuff like Payne did, and he looks a little bit like him, and he's at the right age for it.
He does, and he can play.
Yeah,
he's a player. Wow, when's that going to be going down?
We're going to start shooting in the spring,
and you're going to be the dad. What's happened to us? What's happened to us? That's sort of surreal that you're a dad now in a movie. Well, you've been a dad in a lot of movies, but to be Justin's dad, that's so. Payne Stewart movie. Where's that? Is that going to be theaters, or y'all going to go?
Oh no, it's going to be theaters. Definitely theaters.
You're able to succeed in theaters now when a lot of movies are doing one debut because it's sort of the thing you need to do to be Academy Award winning or whatever awards. You gotta have a theatrical debut, right? A couple, but you're talking about months in theaters.
Well, we're hoping we get more like that. I've had a lot of movies that just go 3 days as well because that's all we can afford to keep it in there. People got to understand that you got to pay to get in these movie theaters, and when you're doing $2-3 million budget movies, that's catering budget in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah.
So I do stuff that Hollywood used to do, movies that have love and hope and laughter and faith and redemption. And, people want to see those movies. That's what they stop me for at airports. They go, look, we love what you're doing. I love you do movies that I know I can take my family to.
We're grateful you spent time making a movie here. You're a dear pal. Bless you and your family. I appreciate you taking a Mississippi Minute with me.
My pleasure.
Kevin Sorbo, folks. The rest is history, and it continues to be history because Kevin's not slowing down. Visit Mississippi.org, the birthplace of it all. I'm Steve Azar. We'll see you later.
I'm Steve Azar. In a Mississippi Minute, all 60 of them, where you can take your sweet time.
A SuperTalk Mississippi Media production.